Okay, we've got a cute story for you this morning. The Tufts Medical Center Children's Hospital in Boston has their very first full-time pet therapy dog, and we get to say hello.
Awesome.
This is Bob. Hi, Bob. So
hey, Bob.
cute.
It's a good-looking dog.
This is a 2-year-old trained to provide comfort, ease anxiety for patients and staff. I just think the concept of therapy dogs is so solid.
And the kids love those pets.
Right. They make everyone so happy. Even like if a coworker will bring their dog into work, you know what I mean? It just makes me so happy. So Dunkin', as in Dunkin' Donuts, has provided the funding for this therapy dog and apparently a lot more across the country, which is pretty cool. Hospital staff say Bob already extremely popular and he's brand new, their newest employee. Look at him.
Can't wait to see how the kids think of what they think of the dog.
And he's
So
happy
cute.
because, you know what, this is what he wants to do. These are the type of dogs, those working dogs, this is what they like.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
This is the best kind of work. You just get petted all day.
the best work.
Here's some more positive news for you. A New York artist is keeping his word at paying it forward. Since March, this man vowed to buy a piece of art every time he sold a painting. So his name's Guy Stanley Filoche, and he spent $70,000 so far on roughly 200 pieces of art from 150 artists around the world.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he knows good art. Obviously, he's trying to be able to make sure everyone else can keep their business going too. And this is just a look at some of his collection. By the way, there's a museum in New York who wants to show off his collection.
Ooh, very nice.
Solid.
Yeah.
So that's just a cool concept. So every time someone buys one of his pieces of art, he goes out and buys another piece of art.
Now, assuming that he's buying one that's cheaper than what he got.
Right. I hope he's
Eventually, you're gonna
surviving. He
run out
can
of
pay
money.
his rent.
Right, you got to pay the bills, but he's got a great collection going, and obviously he's really kind of spreading the wealth all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Cool. I love that concept. Okay, we're going a little futuristic here. Spacex says third time's the charm. Their futuristic starship hit its landing yesterday, but you maybe want to be the judge if it was actually a success. So
Sure.
Take a look. The prototype rocket ship lifted off from the southern tip of Texas, soared 6 miles over the Gulf, flipped upright, landed intact,
And then
it exploded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
it landed safely.
it was so far so good, all the way up until the finish line.
All the way until the finish line. So Elon Musk, though, tweeting that this was a total success.
Because the first time, at least they got to land
Right,
correctly.
right. So you're
Here you
seeing
go.
the landing here.
Oh, boy.
It already looks like it's on fire.
Yeah, but that's just the fuel kind of dissipating right here. So
Sure,
it lands,
sure.
they're like, woohoo! And then,
Lands.
wait for it. Yeah, it's not that long.
Oh,
Okay.
we're not going to see it? Come
We
on.
don't show it. Looks like we need
Yeah.
I don't-
to see if we can find that.
I don't believe
Right.
it until I see it then. How about that?
But yeah, it exploded. But the whole concept of these rockets is that they're reusable. So the plan is eventually, when it works fully and it doesn't explode after landing, to take these rockets with civilians, you know, regular people like you and me, up to the moon, up to space, and back, and land safely in the same thing.
We're going to get it right one of these days.
Very
It's
cool.
going to happen.
We're getting there.
That's right. Well, guys, guess what? It's baby birthday time. And this baby birthday is Reese Stevens. This is my girlfriend's daughter, who's actually
So
turned 14
cute.
today. But that was, I think, about 8 months old. And
Oh my
that's her,
gosh.
that was actually her passport photo, but it's such a cute picture of her.
That's
Reese.
a passport photo?
That was her passport photo back then.
Oh, that's
so
cute. I
cute.
didn't know that you had to have a passport photo of that young
Yeah. This
well-
bodes very well for Reese for her driver's license photo coming
yeah.
up in just a couple of years. She's going to have a great one, unlike the rest of us.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's
And-
always like they shoot it at the most random time.
Well,
Not
and
for
you
Reese,
know,
though. So
they're,
cute.
They're not going to tell her either. Oh, you can't have a do-over, right? You got one shot at this, so
Yeah.
it looks like she did okay in that
Yeah,
picture.
she looks adorable.
Yes, and she is become quite the young lady. So how about that?
Happy birthday,
Very nice.
Reese.
Happy birthday, Reese.
14. That's a big deal.
That's right. And, of course, we're talking weather because we have some weather out there right now across portions of the state, but actually we're seeing some wet weather here in Utah County, which is where we talked about we could see that. And it's just light precipitation, but overall, 56 in Salt Lake, 65 St. George, and really going to see a quick change over to sunshine in St. George. So mostly sunny tomorrow, and then Saturday, 77, 76. Breezy in St. George on Saturday, but really windy on Saturday for the Wasatch Front after some morning showers today. Nicer day tomorrow, 67. The 70 is the record on Saturday, and we could could be getting close to that depending on how late that front comes in, and it may come in just late enough. We do have some wet roads here across the Utah County area, around pretty much the UT6, so heading on to, heading into Spanish Fork Canyon, I-15. Let's actually get more of a live look at this because you can see a better look at how the roads are wet as the cars go by. But overall, drive times are not an issue here across places like I-15 because we don't have any incidents and the roads aren't that wet, nor are they snow covered. So we're good to go.
That sounds good, Adam. It's March 4th. Here's your fun national holidays today. It's National Hospitalist Day. That's basically celebrating hospital medicine.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's also Marching Music Day.
Ooh.
And just FYI, our producer back in the booth right now, he used to be on the marching band for the University of Utah. Check it out. I think this is back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I think I see him.
There he is, right there.
There he is, right there.
I'm very confident he's that white dot.
He sounds good,
Cool.
though, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's a jack of all trades, right?
This is
Josh
awesome.
of all trades.
There you go. Well done. Well played. So he's back in the booth. He can listen to us. I have to see if you can, as they're playing that video here, Josh, let us know if we see you in that video. 15-yard line, okay. Towards the south end zone he's telling us. All right, so National Grammar Day. This is kind of fun.
Awesome.
What's your most annoying grammar mistake?
Oh.
My most annoying grammar mistake?
Yeah, people like, you know how they misspell there versus there?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what drives me crazy, and it's ridiculous, but like the difference between over and more than?
Oh, yeah.
So dumb.
That's one
they
right
mean
there.
the same thing, but they
Sure.
don't in my head. They make me so angry.
Right? So this is your day to kind of, if you're annoyed by it, you can use it today. Hug a GI Day and Pound Cake Day.
Pound cake day, yum.
Okay.
All right, that's it for us here for this hour. We've got another hour coming your way right after this.
Now on GMU at 6, a community coming together over a beloved grocery store owner shot and killed. How they plan to honor his legacy.
And the Senate passes a new bill to increase protection to Utah lawmakers. That bill coming ahead of today's new threat of potential attacks at the nation's capital.
Good morning. Intermountain's first drive-through vaccine site opens up later this morning here at Tosh in Murray. Coming up, we are live with the rollout plan that is currently underway for the J&J vaccine.
Plus, we're tracking another storm that's moving through the area, bringing in some rain and some snow. When will it go away, and how much in terms of warm temperatures are we going to see all coming up?
Live from Utah's first TV station, Good Morning Utah at 6 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Brian Carlson.
And I'm Sarah Martin. It is 6 a.m. this Thursday.
It is, and of course, Utah's expansion of the COVID-19 vaccine is getting more streamlined. Intermountain Healthcare's first drive-through vaccine site opens this morning. They're administering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. ABC4's Jared Giaccinini is live from the Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital there in Murray with our story. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Well, this is the first time Tosh will be administering a vaccine in general, and Intermountain says it'll be their first drive-through clinic system-wide. Everyone must have an appointment to get a vaccine, scheduled to start here around 8:30 this morning. Intermountain says Tosh will be administering the vaccine in coordination with state guidelines. Anyone 18 and older with qualifying medical conditions. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine arrived at Intermountain healthcare facilities throughout this week. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which only requires one dose and doesn't need any special storage, will first go to smaller hospitals and clinics in the Intermountain system, mostly impacting rural communities.
The big picture I understood is that it will be rolled out through the health departments and also local clinics.
According to health experts, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is 100% protective against hospitalizations and death, and 85% protective against severe disease for all the variants worldwide that's been tested so far. Now, again, the drive-through clinic starts here at Tosh around 8:30 this morning. All 7 smaller hospitals and clinics in the Intermountain system chosen to administer the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will also begin administering vaccines today. For more information on how to schedule an appointment, you can head to our website, abc4.com. Live, Jared Giaccinini, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. The Salt Lake County Health Department is apologizing for sending out the wrong information to people scheduled to get the vaccine. The health department tweeted this yesterday after they sent out incorrect information in emails and texts to people registered to get a COVID-19 vaccine at the Salt Palace. The health department says they put the wrong vaccine type in those messages, but patients will receive the correct vaccines at their second dose appointments.
The Utah County Health Department says they are getting swamped with calls from people asking for a vaccine who are not eligible yet. The health department posted this reminder to their Facebook yesterday saying they can only fill appointments for people who are currently eligible. The overwhelming amount of calls from ineligible people takes away valuable time and effort to help the current eligible population. See who is currently eligible on their website, health.utahcounty.gov.
And happening today, Utah Governor Spencer Cox is expected to update us on our state's vaccine distribution, including that new Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Governor Cox and the Lieutenant Governor will hold their weekly COVID-19 press briefing this morning at 11. We'll carry it live both on air and streaming online at abc4.com. All right, let's check your weather. So, Adam, who's getting snow this morning?
Well, our Cottonwood Canyons are getting some snow. We're seeing some in the higher benches of the Sanpete Valley. Also, other area mountains in and around the central part of the state, like the Wasatch Plateau. We've seen some snowfall places like Bryan Head and Eagle Point in southern Utah in the last 12 hours. But it's hard to see, but it is snowing at Alta here on their camera. And they're not going to see a lot besides a couple of inches, and then we're pretty much said and done with this storm. But we are seeing a very well-defined counterclockwise motion here related to our area of low pressure. And honestly, our low-resolution radar doesn't look, it looks a lot more impressive than what the higher resolution. But we are seeing some precipitation right now over Utah County and most of Utah County. But notice how it wants to get a little bit farther north, but it just won't. So it's very likely that the southeastern portions of Salt Lake County could see some sprinkles like Draper, maybe even Sandy. But overall, that's about the line of rain we're going to see. It's going to push to the east. We'll have some mountain snow for the remainder of the afternoon across eastern Utah, but temperatures outside are very, very mild. 46 in Salt Lake, 30 Rock Springs, 37 Hanksville, with 24 in Elko under mainly clear skies. And we're going to continue to deal with temperatures in the 40s out there. You may want to have an umbrella, especially if you're in Utah County, just so the fact that we have some precipitation out there. We also have one incident that just popped up. It is on the I-15 corridor in the southern end of Salt Lake County. It's a stalled vehicle, but it is blocking a lane here, I-15 southbound at 90th South. I can't get it on this shot, but this is pretty much where it's at on the map there. But overall, it's not affecting traffic or drive times.
Thanks, Adam. Some states in the U.S. lifting their mask mandates, rolling back restrictions. Is Utah ready to do the same? One lawmaker believes we're close, and he's introduced a bill to get us there. It's called Endgame. It would lift the mask mandate and COVID-19 restrictions when certain requirements are met. Those requirements include the 14-day case rate dropping below 191 cases per 100,000, 15% or less of our ICUs filled with COVID-19 patients, and more than 1.6 million vaccines provided to Utah by the federal government.
Our citizens are ready for that. The public's been asking for that since the beginning, actually. What's it look like on the end?
Just because it feels like COVID's gone because people are starting to get the vaccines, I just don't think it's time yet. People aren't safe enough.
The Endgame bill passed through the House, now heads to the Senate to be heard. The bill's sponsor feels confident it'll be signed into law if it gets to the governor's desk. Medical professionals, though, say legislators should not be making public health policy and hope Governor Cox will veto the bill. For more information on that bill, head to our website, abc4.com.
All right, so here's your morning update on COVID-19. Utah had 729 new cases yesterday. That brings our state total to 372,000. Utah has administered 759,000 doses of the vaccine across the state. 212 COVID patients are currently being treated in Utah hospitals, and 7 more Utahns have died for a total of 1,955. Over the last 7 days, we're averaging 590 new cases a day. Our testing positivity rate now down to 10.2%.
The man accused of shooting a police officer in Provo last week has now been charged. Keith Taylor is charged with attempted criminal homicide and aggravated murder. Provo police officer John Osagura was shot in the incident. He's recovering from those injuries.
And in Ogden, a petition is gaining momentum to rename a street after a grocery store owner who was shot and killed. This is the man they want to remember. So far, the petition in his behalf has collected more than 1,900 signatures. The petition calls to rename 675 North to Satnam Singh Drive. The man behind the petition grew up in Ogden and wants to remember Singh's positive impact he had on the neighborhood.
I need to get the people on 675 to sign that petition because there is a process through Ogden City to take care of this.
Now, the grocery store owner's family spoke about support in a statement saying, quote, "It is with grateful hearts that we thank each and every one of you for the love and support you've shown our family. Thank you to our extended family, friends, customers, and the community of Ogden. We have been overwhelmed by your outpouring of kindness and generosity." Now, on the investigation into his killer, Ogden police say they have a person in custody who was seen in this store surveillance footage. An uncle of that person police took into custody tells ABC4 News, quote, "The whole community is heartbroken. It's hard for us, too. Our families knew the man. It was obviously a shock." Police hope to release more information about the shooting later today.
And we're now hearing from the city of South Jordan on their lawsuit to have an alleged bomb maker's home torn down. The city's calling the home a, quote, literal minefield. 43-year-old Myan McManigal, seen here, arrested in July of last year for allegedly shooting at police officers and manufacturing bombs in his home, and bomb materials might still be inside. The bomb squad has already detonated some materials, but a man doing construction in the home last October was injured by another surprise blast. On Tuesday, South Jordan filed a legal complaint against McManigal and his mortgage company in order to destroy the home.
The basic plan at this point is to collapse the house, taking down the walls, the roof, etc., burning it out to get rid of any possible materials left in there, and then removing all of those materials from the property.
McManigal is still in jail. South Jordan attorneys, though, hope for a quick response from his lawyers.
And police in Logan need your help to find a few purse thieves. Logan police posted these photos to their Facebook page yesterday. They say the people in these photos stole people's purses from unattended shopping carts on multiple occasions. They say the suspects used the victims' credit cards to buy thousands of dollars of gift cards, clothes, and toys. So if you know anything about these people, know where they are, contact Logan Police.
In Utah County, a mother is in custody this morning for hiding drugs in her car right next to her young children. 19-year-old Gabriella McKenzie from Eagle Mountain was originally pulled over for distracted driving. She had her 2-year-old unrestrained and an 8-month-old in the car with her. Officers say they found cocaine, marijuana, a bottle of liquor, and drug paraphernalia in the car. McKenzie was booked into jail on multiple charges.
And a tanker truck carrying jet fuel crashed and spilled fuel all over the road in Summit County. Firefighters with North Summit posted these photos to their Facebook page yesterday. The crash happened Monday on I-80 in Echo Canyon. Multiple cars were involved in the crash. No one was injured, but crews did have to clean up that jet fuel from the road.
The Utah Senate passed a bill to increase security for lawmakers and their staff. Senate Bill 222 would require the State Office of Executive Protection to provide security for state officials and their staff when there is a demonstrable threat. It's in response to riots across the country, including at our Utah state capitol. And according to the Salt Lake Tribune, several members of our Senate say they've faced death threats while serving in office. The bill passed 48-20 yesterday and now moves to the governor's desk for final approval.
And new this morning, Utah lawmakers have now passed a massive spending bill for transportation. House Bill 433 calls for $2.2 billion in funding for infrastructure, including $1.4 billion in bonds. The money would support transit projects across the state. State senators just okayed the bill, and if it gets its final approval, it will be the largest infrastructure spending package in Utah's history. It now heads to the governor's desk.
In local politics, a bill that could change the name of Dixie State University has cleared the state legislature. Yesterday, the Senate passed House Bill 278 by a vote of 26-3. The House also approved changes made to it. In the Senate, the bill is now off to the governor to sign. The bill's sponsor says he hopes it'll lead to an outcome the whole community can support.
And happening today, if you need a job, you may want to check out a virtual job fair. The Utah Department of Workforce Services is hosting that job fair. More than 100 Utah employers are looking to hire over 3,000 open positions, including 1,700 jobs in health and human services. The job fair goes from 10 o'clock this morning to 1 this afternoon. You can register online at jobs.utah.gov.
6:12 now. Coming up on Good Morning Utah, security experts warning domestic terrorists could attack our nation's capital today. How police are preparing for potential riots. And Google has new plans to get rid of repeat ads on websites. See their new marketing strategy coming up in your Good Morning Utah Business Report.
Time now your weather on the 4s.
Welcome back, Utah 614. Checking in with meteorologist Adam Carroll. Adam, you got another great day on tap for us.
Well, later in the day, for sure, across the entire region, because we're going to see clearing skies pretty quickly here heading into the midday hours, Sarah, and that will actually still keep our temperatures slightly above normal, but not what we were yesterday, which was 63. It was an amazing day yesterday. Definitely the best one so far this year. Park City Main Street, though, you can see actually it's in a little bit of some snow and some slush here on the side of the road. That car has snow on top of it, so they've seen a little bit of a dusting to a skiff here on Park City Main Street this morning. It is very lightly snowing up there as well, but it's 46 in Salt Lake, 44 Ogden, 25 Logan, with a little bit of rain in around Provo. We've seen that temperature go down a little bit here, 43 in St. George, but across the entire Wasatch Front, well, the cooler temperatures are definitely in the central and southern part of Utah County, because like I mentioned, we're seeing some shower activity there, 43 in Tooele, 32 in Park City. Now, throughout the rest of the day, 45 at 9, 50 at noon, 56 with plentiful sunshine by the afternoon hours and at 3 p.m. And spotty showers will continue through about 9 and 10 a.m. this morning here over portions of the Utah County area and other areas of the state, especially in the eastern half. But area of low pressure, well defined, and that counterclockwise motion, bringing in some precipitation here across portions of northern, central, southern, and eastern Utah. Getting in a little bit closer to the south. A very weird system because there's not a lot of moisture. It's very sporadic out there right now. Milford has seen a little bit of rain-snow mix here in the last hour or so, but getting into farther northern Utah, where Utah County is pretty much have been enveloped with at least some light shower activity, especially around Provo and Spanish Fork, where the roads are a little bit more wet. And then it pushes into the areas of Tooele and Juab counties that are fairly non-populated. But overall, it's still snowing in the mountains. We're not going to see this precipitation get much more farther to the north. And you can even see on Futurecast right there is pretty much the as far northern end of it as this thing gets. And then by 10 a.m., it is pretty much almost exiting the region. Still maybe some snow showers over the mountains here throughout the daytime hours on the eastern half of the state. High pressure comes back, warm weather, and windy. Very, very windy weather on Saturday ahead of a cold front that's going to be mainly dry. But boy, those south winds are going to whip, and that's going to boost our temperatures up. Anytime you have a south wind, a lot of times you actually increase the temperature by 5 degrees from what it should be. 51 in Price, 65 in St. George, 60 in Wendover, 66 Moab, 48 in Logan, but we'll go to 77 in St. George tomorrow, then 76 breezy Saturday. Not as breezy Sunday, but staying in the 70s. It's actually a pretty nice weekend in St. George. Chances of morning showers will end 9, 10 o'clock this morning. 62 tomorrow, 67 on Saturday, and then kind of up and down until we see a cooler, more unsettled pattern, bringing some rain and snow chances here for especially Tuesday. We do have an incident here at I-15 southbound at the 90th South exit, but it's not doing a lot with traffic, but we are seeing a pretty bit of a slowdown here in central Utah. Scipio Summit has snow coming down and is leading to a little bit of touch and go here over the summit along I-15. Keep that in mind if you have to head that way, but I-15 is looking fine up in northern Utah.
All right, thanks, Adam. Let's go now to our nation's capital. Domestic terrorists could be planning another attack on the Capitol today.
It's forcing a level of heightened security there in the D.C. area and causing House leaders to take the extraordinary step of canceling today's legislative session. ABC's Ika Jachi has the story.
This morning, the nation's capital remains on high alert. The FBI and Capitol Police warning of new threats against the government. Investigators uncovering a possible plot by militias to again target the Capitol today. ABC News obtaining an internal bulletin from Capitol Police stating an unidentified group of militia violent extremists had discussed plans to take control of the U.S. Capitol and remove Democratic lawmakers.
People are deeply concerned about what potential threats could be out there.
The threat is linked to a far-right conspiracy theory pushed by QAnon, falsely claiming Trump will return to Washington today. The claims are false. The security measures are real. Barbed wire and fencing surrounding the Capitol. National Guard members with heavy military vehicles on duty. Roads closed.
We have enhanced our security posture. We've taken immediate steps to let the National Guard as well as our workforce know what to expect.
It's a stark difference from what was seen on January 6th. Lawmakers this week holding hearings.
You have insurrectionists going through the police lines. You are on the phone, and they're not immediately approving your request.
Drilling down on why it took the Pentagon over 3 hours to approve the D.C. National Guard to move in and back up Capitol Police on the day of the attack.
The Army senior leaders did not think that it looked good, it would be a good optic.
Members of Congress pointing to the summer when the killing of unarmed black men led to protests, and the National Guard stood ready.
Was the issue of optics ever brought up by Army leadership when the D.C. National Guard was deployed during the summer of 2020?
It was never discussed.
The Senate will stay in session to continue work on President Biden's COVID relief bill despite the security concerns. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
Speaking of that relief bill, President Biden and Senate Democrats have made some last-minute tweaks to keep Democratic members on board. They agreed to tighten income limits on the $1,400 stimulus checks to end who's getting those checks at individuals making $80,000 a year, couples annually earning $160,000 per year.
And he's hopeful that Democrats of all political backgrounds can get behind.
I think there is Democratic unanimity.
Republicans say they would take steps to drag out the legislation. Some Democrats say, though, the bill could pass the Senate by the end of the week.
Time now 6:21. Up next on GMU, it now costs more to buy groceries and fill up your car. Here where the government says those prices could climb even higher. And a pledge to save the platypus. See how one zoo in Australia plans to protect hundreds of endangered species.
Good morning. Coming up here, President Biden blasting some states for racing to reopen and dropping mask mandates as his administration tries to safely reopen schools. The new Secretary of Education is going to join us live for his first national interview since being sworn in. And you'll see that only here on GMA.
Time now for your weather on the 4s.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of shower activity on your weather on the 4s on Storm Tracker radar, but it's staying confined to Utah County. You might find a few sprinkles up in the southeastern side of Salt Lake County, but overall, in terms of what we're seeing out there, it has primarily been in Utah County today, and will likely day for the most part in Utah County before this clears out, the system that is. But eastern sides of the state may be a little bit cloudier for the majority of the morning into early afternoon as the storm system clears out. 56 in Salt Lake, 65 St. George, 66 Moab. But precipitation is going to be few and far between, except maybe over the mountains where we're seeing some snow showers. So St. George, 65 today, mostly sunny, 77, then 76, 73. So it's a really nice weekend, but we will see building clouds heading into next week. And that will actually bring in some showers here by the time we get to Wednesday. But for the Wasatch Front, morning showers for portions of the Wasatch Front, primarily in Utah County, will come to an end around 9 or 10. Will be 56 for the daytime high with more sunshine this afternoon. Mostly sunny Friday, 62, 67, and it could be even warmer because of how strong the winds will be on Saturday. Then a cool down before it warms back up, and then for good it cools down to below normal temperatures on the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame with more snow and rain in the forecast. Now we do have a couple of different incidents here. The one you can't even see is way up there in Plymouth, but we're heading that way right now on the traffic app, and not really much going on in terms of I can't get you a camera. It's a minor accident, but it's still one to report on. And I-15 southbound stalled vehicle at 90th South. Can't really see it, though, on this camera shot, but that's where it's located. Drive times along I-15 are smooth sailing.
All right, Adam. Are you paying more at the grocery store or to fill up your car?
The government says things are about to get worse. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the story.
This morning, experts warning of rising food prices with no end in sight to the spike. One major factor, the cost of gas on the rise after the deep freeze in Texas last month, which shut down the country's largest refineries, raising the cost of shipping goods.
It costs me more at the fuel pump, so it costs more to ship the load out, meaning it's going to end up going in the store at a higher price.
AAA says the national average for a gallon of gas is now $2.74. That's 31 cents higher than a month ago. But the pandemic still gets much of the blame for higher prices at grocery stores thanks to supply chain issues, shopper capacity limits in stores, and more people eating at home.
The coronavirus has caused a major disruption within the food supply chain. We have this unprecedented demand at the grocery stores.
The government is now estimating a 6 to 9% increase this year in soybean prices, commonly found in many plant-based meat substitutes, and a 5 to 8% increase in wheat prices. Fast food customers also paying more. Prices are up more than 6% in the last year compared to about 3% at traditional restaurants. And as food prices rise, so does the need for help.
Thank you so much.
Food banks are now seeing an unprecedented number of families coming through their doors. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Time now is 6:27. There are new plans to give more Utahns safe and affordable housing. House Speaker Brad Wilson announced yesterday the state legislature will allocate $50 million in additional funding for homeless and critical housing needs. State leaders say housing costs and homeless people are still critical issues in Utah, and they can't fix the problem alone, which is why they're teaming up with local philanthropic leaders.
Helping those in need here in Utah is absolutely the Utah way. So is addressing our challenges in a collaborative manner. We all want to be part of a big solution to a big problem, and together we are going to do that today.
Now, Speaker Wilson says the money will focus on both preserving existing affordable housing and producing new housing options.
Still ahead on Good Morning Utah, states like Texas getting ready to ease restrictions when one lawmaker says Utah should do the same. Plus, more Americans getting the COVID-19 vaccine, how businesses can prepare to go back to the office, coming up in a live interview. As we head up to the break, here's a look outside. Our camera down south in St. George, look at that. Early sunrise, that is a gorgeous shot on your screen. Adam Carroll back after the break with your weather on the 4s.
from Utah's first TV station. Good Morning Utah at 6:30 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Sarah Martin.
And I'm Brian Carlson. The time is 6:30 on this Thursday.
More vaccine progress here in Utah. Intermountain Healthcare's first drive-through vaccine site opens this morning, and they're administering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. ABC4's Jared Jatneni is live from Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital in Murray with our story. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. This drive-through clinic opens up at 8:30 and is by appointment only. This is the first time Tosh is going to be administering a vaccine, and it's the J&J vaccine at the first drive-through clinic in the Intermountain Healthcare system. Now, Intermountain says Tosh will be administering the vaccine in coordination with state guidelines. Anyone 18 years and older with qualifying medical conditions. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine arrived at Intermountain facilities throughout this week. The vaccine only requires one dose and does not need special storage, and it'll go to smaller hospitals and clinics in the Intermountain Healthcare system first, mostly impacting rural communities.
See more of my neighbors and more of my patients and more of their family get vaccinated after what we witnessed through the winter is really heartwarming.
Health officials say the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has shown to be 100% protective against hospitalizations and death and 85% protective against severe disease for all the variants worldwide that have been tested so far. Now, again, this clinic here at Tosh and Murray opens at 8:30. It's by appointment only. All 7 selected hospitals in the Intermountain Healthcare system for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will also begin administering vaccines this morning. For more information on how to schedule an appointment, you can head to our website, abc4.com. Reporting live, Jared Jatneni, ABC4 News.
Thanks for the update, Jared. The Salt Lake County Health Department is apologizing for sending out the wrong information to people scheduled to get the vaccine. The health department tweeted this yesterday after they sent incorrect information in emails and texts to people registered to get the vaccine at the Salt Palace. The health department says they put the wrong vaccine type in those messages, but patients will receive the correct vaccines at their second dose appointments.
The Utah County Health Department says they're getting swamped with calls from people asking for a vaccine that are not eligible yet. The health department posted this reminder to their Facebook page yesterday saying they can only fill appointments for people who are currently eligible. They say the overwhelming number of calls from ineligible people takes away valuable time and effort to help current eligible populations. See who is currently eligible on their website, health.utahcounty.gov.
And happening today, Utah Governor Spencer Cox is expected to update us on our state's vaccine distribution, including that new Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Governor Cox and the Lieutenant Governor will hold their weekly COVID-19 press briefing this morning at 11. We'll carry it live both on air and streaming online at abc4.com.
Some states in the U.S. lifting their mask mandates, rolling back restrictions. Is Utah ready to do the same? One lawmaker believes we're close and has introduced a bill to get us there. It's called Endgame. It would lift the mask mandate and COVID-19 restrictions when certain requirements are met. Those include the 14-day case rate dropping below 191 cases per 100,000, 15% or less of ICUs filled with COVID-19 patients, and more than 1.6 million vaccines provided to Utah by the federal government.
Our citizens are ready for that. The public's been asking for that since the beginning, actually. What's it look like on the end?
Just because it feels like COVID's gone because people are starting to get the vaccines, I just don't think it's time yet. People aren't safe enough.
The Endgame bill passed through the House. It's heading to the Senate to be heard. The bill sponsor is confident it'll be signed into law if it gets to the governor's desk. Medical professionals, though, say legislators should not be making public health policy and hope Governor Cox will veto the bill. For more information on it, head to our website, abc4.com.
Something we're all looking forward to, and something also like as well, some good weather today, Adam.
That footage in that story, how nice it was yesterday, Brian. All those people out and about picnicking or walking. You probably are going to be able to do that again today because we might be a little cooler, sure, but we're going to still see a lot of sunshine later today, even though you might not be dealing with it right now. It's this storm system that's going to exit fairly fast here by midday. But this is what it looks like at Bryce Canyon. This is the Ruby's Inn area, but if you look towards Bryce, low clouds, maybe some snow showers in the area, but overall, most of southern Utah is in the clear, but they are going to start seeing some wraparound moisture as well. We're seeing some snow-covered roads across the high passes of I-70, high passes of I-15, making for some touch-and-go slick travel, but overall, we're more or less seeing some rainfall, precipitation fall in Utah County. And only about southeastern Salt Lake County is as far north as this precipitation is going to get here. But outside of that, not a whole lot going on farther north of Salt Lake or even into southeastern Utah yet. But this will bring in a little bit of that moisture into eastern Utah as it progresses out of the picture. And we'll start looking at sunshine and warmer weather here heading into the latter half of the day and tomorrow. 46 in Salt Lake, though, right now, 43 St. George, 34 in Blanding. Heading out the door, though, like I said, the showers will be spotty. There'll be mild temperatures as well. You can see those temperatures only in the mid-40s. But most of the precipitation is going to be over Utah County. Now, we do have an incident here. It is just a stalled vehicle at the exit of 90th South and I-15 on the southbound side of things. It's hard to see in this because it's not in that camera shot, but that's what it looks like here at about 90th South and I-15. Drive times, though, along I-15 are looking just fine. Normal drive times. How about over to Tooele? Yep, that looks good. And also Park City.
That sounds good. Thank you much, Adam. The time 6:36. Coming up on GMU, a man in Sweden attacks people with an axe. Police are now investigating it as an act of terrorism. Then Disney closing dozens of stores. Learn where you can still buy and grab your favorite Disney merchandise in your Good Morning Utah business report. But first, here's your first look at Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive.
Why would you defend Rachel Kirkconnell?
For the first time since stepping aside from the Bachelor franchise, host Chris Harrison is speaking out to Good Morning America's Michael Strahan. It's been just over 3 weeks since Harrison made these comments to former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay, defending current contestant Rachel Kirkconnell and that picture of her at an Old South-themed party in 2018.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not a good. Well, Rachel, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021?
You said, quote, is it not a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021? Because there's a big difference. To you, what is the difference?
This morning, Chris Harrison is opening up about his regrets, what he's learned, and the future of the Bachelor franchise. It's all coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Adam Carroll, Weather Rate certified 10 years in a row.
All right, Adam, let's check your weather out there this morning. I know for all of us here in the valley, things look pretty good, but we've got snow in the mountains today.
We do have snow in the mountains after a 63-degree high temperature yesterday, Brian, because you know what? This is March, this is Utah, and it can't get its mind in order, right?
We like to kind of play both sides of the fence right there, you know what I mean?
We do. Now, this is actually the snowiest month for our mountains, so that's good news for them, especially heading into a much more unsettled next week and colder, because remember 2 years ago, we had the wettest March second wettest March on record, but it was nearly 4 inches of rain that fell in that month time frame. It was wild. I would love to see that happen again. Brighton, though, we've got snow-covered parking lots up at Brighton right now. 46 in Salt Lake, 44 Ogden, 25 Logan, 41 Provo, 43 in St. George. Now, the rest of the Wasatch Front's all showing 40s, but it is 45 in Tooele. It's a little cooler in Utah County. We've seen a little bit of shower activity, some wet roads out there. 34 in Park City, also Heber, 37 in Morgan. We'll get to the mid-40s by 9 a.m. Showers should be spotty and coming to an end around that time. 50 noon, 56 at 3 p.m. Pleasant afternoon ahead, especially since we're going to have some clearing out there as well pretty quickly into the afternoon. Area of low pressure, well defined here in the center, south center part of the state, but it is slowly but surely moving away. Now, it will actually pick up in terms of its pacing to get on out of here heading into the midday hour. But for now, we're going to highlight this in terms of using our high-resolution satellite and radar imagery on Storm Tracker. We've had some snow showers here across Milford. We've also had some snow here along I-15, along I-70 over the last little while. It has created some slick travel. We'll show that in traffic, but still showery across Utah County, Provo, Spanish Fork, snow in the mountains nearby. Sundance is likely seeing a little bit of snow shower activity on top of the Cottonwood Canyons as well in Park City. But as we look at the rest of the day today, you'll see how it clears away. High pressure rolls back into place. Another spring-like day tomorrow. A little breezy in spots, but it's really windy on Saturday with continued high pressure coming in. There's the front with southerly winds that are going to be very, very gusty as well as it comes in on Saturday, but it's going to boost our temperatures up. 56 in Salt Lake, 65 St. George, 51 Price, 44 in Rock Springs, 55 in Elko. St. George will go to 77 tomorrow, 76, 73 here over the weekend. So actually a pretty nice weekend, though we're likely going to be on the breezy to windy side on Saturday. For the Wasatch Front, any showers here across the portions of the Wasatch Front will come to an end. 56, 62 on Friday, 67 gusty Saturday. And then it's up and down through Monday, but rain and snow showers return to the area Tuesday and even into Wednesday afternoon and evening. We have those wet roads across mainly Utah County, portions of the southern end of Salt Lake County just because of some spotty showers. But I actually want to go into I-70. There are some snow-covered mountain passes here just to the east of Richfield that are making for some slow-and-go travel. And then also along I-15, just before you get to Beaver, there's a pretty big pass there, and that is creating some issues. So drive times, though, up in northern Utah are fine. And stick around because in just a few minutes, we're going to be heading over to Utah CW30 for more news, weather, and traffic.
All right, thanks, Adam. We're talking vaccines and business. President Biden announced this week that every American that wants a vaccine could receive one by the end of May. That timeline fast-tracking a lot of companies back to the office plans. At this point, 52.9 million Americans have gotten at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, including 750,000 Utahns. Businesses and employees are looking at those numbers and making plans to get back into the office. Joining me now with some help for those businesses, Andrew Wittenberg from Salt Lake City's Department of Economic Development. Andrew, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good, good. So let's talk, what do businesses need to know broadly about the vaccine and creating kind of a back-to-work policy?
Yeah, we've started to see some of the guidance come out from the federal government. The EEOC has put out some suggested guidance that says employers can require that employees be vaccinated before they come into the workplace, but they're not required by the federal government to require those vaccines. So what we're seeing is that there needs to be a very significant policy put into place. It needs to be clearly written out or distributed to employees, because the other piece of the guidance from the federal government, OSHA, is saying that there needs to be a safe workplace free of regular hazards and things like that. So we know there's some interesting dynamics here, but regardless of what the federal government or state government is saying, the employers need to be ready to execute a plan and put a policy in place.
Right. That's, I think, been a line of, maybe not contention quite yet, but just a line of concern. Are we supposed to mandate that people in our facility be vaccinated? Is that going to be a way that we maybe we incentivize it instead of require it? Do you have any advice along those lines for businesses at this point? What are you seeing so far in terms of those policies coming out in Utah?
Right. Employee safety is obviously first and foremost. We don't want to see any numbers surging once again. So when you talk about a safe work environment, masks still in place, social distancing still in place. That's regardless of the vaccination policy for an employer. But second, there's also some people that are unable to receive a vaccine due to either health considerations or what have you, or personal decisions. And so it's important that the employers be clear about that policy and let people know that there's still going to be safe practices in place, because we know there's still reduced capacities in some cases, but is in some work environments. But as the numbers hopefully continue to trend downward, we'll see exactly what that looks like when more and more people get vaccinated. So again, clear policy written out, delivered to employees, and a point of contact within your company or business that people can discuss to figure out what's best for them, and if they can stay working at home or if they need to come back into the office.
A lot of conversation around working from home has been, what will working from home look like in the coming days? I think a lot of businesses are going to maybe use more working from home options for employees. Are you seeing any of that as these companies are working on those policies?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of companies that have developed a more permanent version of the work from home, the telecommuting, if it's possible, if you're mobile, if you're here on a laptop or on a computer. We've seen a number of companies and some large employers even that have shifted some of their policy from in-office workplace environments to a telecommuting option. And that certainly takes a little bit of a different spin on how we utilize office space as well, and the types of companies that will need it, and what places like Salt Lake City can do to help those companies to maximize the office space they have. And if they need to look at different options, we can certainly help with that too.
Andrew, as we head out here, can you remind people where they can go to find more advice, maybe even a couple of example policies maybe around these vaccines with the city?
Sure, we're always working to develop these when government issue guidance comes out. It's slc.gov/ED.
Perfect. Andrew Wittenberg, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We'll link that on our website, abc4.com/JMU.
Thanks, Sarah.
All right, thank you, Sarah. The time now is 6:48. In your business news, Google is coming up with its new advertising strategy. You may have to buy your Disney merchandise online. Here's your Good Morning Utah business report. The recovery of the economy after the pandemic slowdowns is continuing through the first few months of 2021. The Federal Reserve's Beige Book showing economic activity expanding across much of the country at a modest pace. A big sticking point, though, employment, which is rising, but as the Fed points out, slowly. And Google taking another step towards stopping ads that seem to follow you all over the internet. After announcing last year it would stop using the biggest tracking tool, third-party cookies, Google has now announced it won't develop a direct replacement for them. Instead, it wants to focus on serving ads to groups of people with similar interests. Plus, American Eagle Outfitters says it expects the current quarter's income to beat the last 2 years. Its sales driven mostly by the Aerie brand that focuses on lingerie and more relaxed fashions favored by people working from home. And finally, dozens of Disney stores will be closing down. The parent company of ABC News now says it will close at least 60 stores nationwide and shift more focus to e-commerce. And that's your Good Morning Utah business report.
Time now for news around the world. A man assaulted at least 8 people in Sweden yesterday. Now police investigating the crime as an act of terrorism. Police say a man in his 20s attacked people in the small town of Vetlanda with an axe. Police shot the man, arrested him. They say at least 8 people were injured, some severely, but no one is dead. Restaurant owners and workers protested COVID-19 restrictions in Germany yesterday. People rattled pots and pans outside of the Parliament building in Berlin, asking the government to ease those restrictions, allow them to open back up their businesses. With elections coming up, leaders are expected to lay out a plan to ease those rules soon. A volcano in Guatemala rumbled to life yesterday. This is the Pacaya volcano. It spewed smoke and ash 2,000 feet into the sky. Officials warned people to stay away from the volcano. The volcanic activity will likely increase in the coming days. The volcano erupted violently in 1965 and has been active ever since. That's your news around the world.
The time now is 6:50. In Ogden, a petition is gaining momentum to rename a street after a grocery store owner who was shot and killed. The man they want to remember is here. So far, the petition on this man's behalf has collected more than 1,900 signatures. The petition calls to rename 675 North to Satnam Singh Drive. The man behind the petition grew up in Ogden and wants to remember Singh's positive impact he had in the neighborhood.
I need to get the people on 675 to sign that petition because there is a process through Ogden City to take care of this.
Now, the grocery store owner's family spoke about the support in a statement saying, quote, "It is with grateful hearts that we thank each and every one of you for the love and support you have shown our family. Thank you to our extended family, friends, customers, and the community of Ogden. We have been overwhelmed by your outpouring of kindness and generosity." Now, in the investigation into his killer, Ogden police say they have a person in custody who was seen in these store surveillance footage. An uncle of that person who police took into custody tells ABC4 News, quote, "The whole community is heartbroken. It's hard for us, too. Our family knew the man. It was obviously a shock." Police hope to release more information about the shooting later today.
We're now hearing from the city of South Jordan on their lawsuit to have an alleged bomb maker's home torn down. The city calling the home, quote, "a literal minefield." 43-year-old Ryan McManigal was arrested in July of last year for allegedly shooting at police officers and manufacturing bombs in his home, and bomb materials might still be inside. The bomb squad has already detonated some of those materials, but a man doing construction in the house last October was injured by another surprise blast. On Tuesday, South Jordan filed a legal complaint against McManigal and his mortgage company in order to destroy the home.
The basic plan at this point is to collapse the house, taking down the walls, the roof, etc., burning it out to get rid of any possible materials left in there, and then removing all of those materials from the property.
McManigal is currently in jail. South Jordan attorneys, though, hope for a quick response from his lawyers.
And police in Logan need your help to find a few purse thieves. Logan police posted these photos to their Facebook page yesterday. They say the people in these photos stole people's purses from unattended shopping carts on multiple occasions. They say the suspects used the victims' credit cards to buy thousands of dollars of gift cards, clothes, and toys. So take a good look at them. If you know anything about these people or know where they are, contact Logan Police.
The Utah Senate passed a bill to increase security for lawmakers and their staff. Senate Bill 222 would require the State Office of Executive Protection to provide security for state officials and their staff when there's a demonstrable threat. It's in response to riots across the country, including at our Utah State Capitol. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, several members of the Senate say they faced death threats while serving in office. The bill passed 48-20 yesterday. It now moves to the governor's desk for final approval.
And happening today, if you need a job, you may want to check out a virtual job fair. The Utah Department of Workforce Services is hosting that job fair. More than 100 Utah employers are looking to hire over 3,000 open positions, including 1,700 jobs in health and human services. The job fair goes from 10 o'clock this morning to 1 this afternoon, and you can register online at jobs.utah.gov.
Nice. All right, one last look at our weather this morning, Adam.
Well, we're seeing rain and snow here over portions of northern, central, and southern Utah. It has created some slick travel here along I-70 across the mountain passes of I-15. You can see where the snow's moving back into places like Beaver, though, shortly, and the I-15 corridor still showery across Utah County, Provo, Spanish Fork, a little bit farther south where it's hard to pick it up. But along I-15, we've seen some pretty, dicey travel, and we're going to continue to have that be the case here with Futurecast showing where there may be still some snow out there this morning. But we'll clear it out later this morning into the midday hour, and we'll actually end up having a fairly nice afternoon with those nice temperatures out there. 56 Salt Lake, 65 St. George, 77 tomorrow, but 70s over the weekend, and dry through Tuesday. For the Wasatch Front, morning showers come to an end. Then we'll actually see some clearing and sunshine later. 62 tomorrow, mostly sunny, very gusty, 67 on Saturday. And we have a new incident here. It's a minor one up near the Castle Rock Road area of I-80 towards Evanston. But I mentioned the road issues here across portions of central Utah. Here's I-70 and kind of towards our little bug here in the bottom right. That's snow-covered road. Also near Manti, you're seeing that on US 89. That's I-15 just south of Nephi, and also to the far left, Scipio Summit. So it's going to be dicey here across portions of the state because of the snow. Now, we also, guys, have a big baby birthday today.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more. This is Reese Stevens. She turns 14 today, but this is when she was about 8 months old. This is my girlfriend's daughter. And, funny story about this. My girlfriend had two names picked out, Chloe and Reese, when she was born. So she's not Chloe. So she initially called her fairy princess of the baby chickies, but knew that wasn't going to fit, so she went with Reese.
Maybe the epidural was still wearing off there.
It's harder
so
to put
cute.
on your driver's license.
It is.
Fairy princess of the baby chickies.
I don't think, and I don't know if they would have wanted that on the birth certificate either.
Yeah, Reese, happy birthday, 14. It's a fun year.
Happy birthday, Reese.
Happy birthday.
An Australian zoo is pledging to save the world's unusual and endangered animals from extinction, and they're starting with the platypus. The Taronga Zoo in Sydney, Australia is creating a refuge for 65 platypus. Platypuses?
Platypi?
Platypi?
Platypi might be.
Platypoo? The government of South Wales is going to fund the program. It's going to protect these platypus from things like brush fires, drought, outbreaks of disease. The interesting thing here is that they say if they didn't do this, the platypus would go extinct in 50 years.
Wow.
I really, honestly, platypuses feel like a mythical creature to me, but they're
pretty
real.
funny.
They're out there. They're mammals.
Keeping them alive.
Right? That's it for us. Thanks for making us part of your morning.
More local news coming up on Utah's CW30.